Now, I just wanted to start off a bit with regard to yesterday's Hegarty that I set you, okay? Um, it was one of those that where you were doing those, working out the averages from the group data, that you had to get so many bits right in order to get the marks. I mean, there was only 3 questions, okay? But you had to get it right to the end, make no mistakes. You then had to get it right to the nearest decimal place and get all that right. If you got 99% of the question right and just made one little slip at the end, then you got nothing. Now, I can see your workings, okay, if you go and upload them onto Teams, okay? So can I really stress that particularly when you haven't got a very good mark on Hegarty, please can you go and upload your working onto Teams? Because then I can give you all the method marks, okay? And I hope Esme doesn't mind me saying, she got 33% on Hegarty. She got one of the 3 questions right, which is a good effort, to be honest. And lots of you got one completely right. But because Esme had gone and uploaded all her workings, I could see in the 2 questions that she got a 0 on Hegarty, that she only made one tiny slip on each of them. So basically, her mark's gone up from 33% to 80%. Okay. Now I'm not recording the mark from Hegarty. It doesn't automatically go into my Teams mark book. I have to upload that myself. Now, obviously, if you get 100% or a really good mark on Hegarty, I'm just copying it across into my mark book. But when a mark isn't very good, if you can go and upload your workings, I can then basically see where you went wrong, correct your workings. A, you're going to learn from that, but B, it means you can go and get a better mark. So really, for all of you, and there's quite a few of you who only got one completely right yesterday, or even none of them completely right, don't worry that you got 0% or 33% on Hegarty. I'm not asking you to go back and have another go at it. All I'm asking you to do, please, is to upload your work onto the appropriate Teams page. Now, most of you are getting very good at that. You go in Class Notebook, then you click on the Homework tab, and then you pick the appropriate page. So it's just the page that I've set up for the actual lesson, okay? So, so if you can do that, even though you might only have got 33% on Hegarty, by the time I've gone and given you all the method marks, your mark can improve rapidly. Anyway, I think it's time for us to move on from working out the averages from group data. Now, the next thing we've got to do is a nice bit of revision before we move on to something a bit more substantial next lesson. So we're just going to be revising solving linear equations today, so straight out of the scheme of work before we move on to simultaneous equations. And this is easy. We've done this lots of times. We did it last year. We've done it this year. So just to remind you what you have to do. Okay, so here's 3 questions that you've seen before. So if you've got 2x minus 3 equaling 22, remember, you work your way into the x. You don't worry about the 2x first of all. You first of all try and undo this minus 3. So the first thing you choose to do is to add 3 to both sides. So when we add 3 to the left-hand side, the minus 3 goes, leaving us with just 2x. When we add 3 to the right-hand side, 22 add 3 is 25. So we've now got 2x equaling 25. That means 2 times x, or x times 2. How do we undo a timesing by 2? We divide by 2. So our final answer would be x being 25 over 2. Now remember, it's perfectly all right to leave your answer as a top-heavy fraction. Now Hegarty might require you to do it as a decimal, I'm not sure. Okay, you'll just have to see. But 25 over 2 in normal circumstances is absolutely fine. Okay, so remember, it's 25 being divided by 2, that's 25 over 2. If you find that Hegarty doesn't like top-heavy fractions, just go and write in 12.5. Now, the second one, so 3x minus 4 equals 21. Again, we've got to work our way into the 3x. So the first thing we have to address is this minus 4. How do we undo a minus 4? We add 4. To keep it equal, you've got to add 4 to both sides. So the left-hand side, when we add 4 to minus 4, the minus 4 disappears, leaving us with just the 3x. So 3x equals, adding 4 to the right-hand side, 21 add 4 is 25, and So 3x equals 25. How do we undo this? Timesing by 3, we divide by 3, so x is 25 over 3. And then finally, okay, how do we undo a minus 7? We add 7 to both sides, 12 and 7 is 19. How do we undo 2x? That means 2 times x, x times 2. We divide by 2, so we get x equaling 19 over 2. So that's all we're going to have to do for this lesson, guys, okay? So once this lesson is over, I want you just to go on to Hegarty Maths, please. Oh, no, my mistake. One extra step, I forgot, excuse me. The questions on Hegarty require you to multiply out the bracket first, okay? So you've got an extra opening step. So the questions on Hegarty will look like this. So step 1, you've got to do the claw. So that's 3 times 3x, and then 3 times plus 2. So 3 lots of 3x is 9x. Get the sign right, it's a plus. Then 3 times 2 is 6. And that equals 8. And then from then onwards, it was just like I was describing. So you take away 6 from both sides, you divide both sides by 9, you get x being 2 being divided by 9, 2 over 9. Okay, so I'd forgotten that, yeah. So you'll find that you've got to, I think the questions on the Hegarty exercise I'm about to set you all have this opening bracket included, so you have to do the claw first of all. Remember, the claw is timesing. 3 times 3x is 9x, 3 times plus 2 is plus 6. So this is the Hegarty I want you to do, please. Hegarty 179. Now, I've set it up as an assignment, all right, I set it up as a task. Whether or not Hegarty recognises you've got to do 179 yet, I don't know, because it's taking a long time for it to load up. But you go and search for 179 and do 179. Now look, I set this as a Hegarty exercise in the past. So you may well already have 100% on it or 90% on it or something. You can't just say, right, I've done it, okay? I can see what date you actually took it. Now, the whole point is this is revision. So even if you've got 100% already, I need you going back in and getting 100% again, please. We're revising, okay? I know you could all do it a year ago. The whole point is I'm checking you can do it now before we move on next lesson. So don't just think you're going to get away with being saying, oh, I've done it. I've handed it in, Mr. Withers, because I've got 100%. I'm going to be checking the dates and make sure that it's what you've done it now because you're revising, okay? I can see every time you took it, what the date is, what mark you got. So the only mark I'm going to be transferring across to our remote mark book is what you do today or tomorrow, okay? So so the revision mark will be the one I record in my mark book. I know we've done this task before, but it's exactly what I want us to practice before we go forward to tomorrow's lesson. All right, so that's it. Well done on those of you who've been keeping up. Lots of you have got most of the work done. Well done on all of you who've got used to how Teams is working. That's excellent. So if you're not quite there yet on Teams, please keep going if you can. I mean, you are welcome to email it to me if you really, really can't get anywhere with Teams, but it would be great over time if you can get on top of it. So that's today's lesson done, guys. So I'll be keeping an eye out on Hegarty. So please go and I'm going to go and log on and get the work done now. That would be super. So I'm stopping the recording.